I was watching something on the television today. I didn't see it in here, but it talks about this island off of, I think it must be San Francisco. And the Indians were there and they fought quite heavily for this island. And I thought, I'm going to go and look up Indians again, because that's what I've been doing. Because they also talked about them with this major role in fires and what they did. So it says, prior to the arrival of the stupid old Europeans, Native Americans played a native role in determining the diversity of their ecosystems. Fires were used to keep large areas of forest and mountain free of undergrowth for hunting or travel, or to create berry patches. And you're like, well, we're going to just have a look at this. When you think about it, because obviously the buffalo disappeared basically when we came along. So in here it says, fire was a symbol of the heart of the people to the Native Americans, and the smoke of the fire was a symbol of the prayers was carried to their great spirit. But I told you, didn't I? The world was covered in Indians. The elongated headed people. There's loads of them buried in the next county to me. And Marie Wheatley says they built Stonehenge. So you're like, you do not put these things together, but then you do. And you know, we were covered in Indians. They've all got totems. I've made these videos. They've all got totems. Indians were everywhere. This is why Country Boy Archaeology finds them just anywhere on the ground outside, which means they're not hidden. No sand has come across in the last 100 years and taken them up. Still on the same level for these ones, because the totems are everywhere, and that's what he's been showing you. Anyway, let's carry on. So, obviously, they could manage the place we lived in much better than we have. They must be horrified at what we've done. It's like they just come in and take over and say, it's mine. And actually it belonged, this land, I mean the North American Indians, and I suppose there's Eskimos, there are others, but a lot of the tribes have gone, haven't they? The Mayas, the Mayans, but the Native Americans are here. Look at that, they've used every part of a buffalo. I don't know why they'd be making soap though. It says soap, isn't that more of a sort of European thing? But anyway, maybe they did. Maybe that's how they kept clean. So there's a little video off this channel explaining everything. So these people had no waste, and they still had millions of buffalo. They had millions of them. And then we come along, and then in a very short period of time, they've gone. Down to 500. I'd say we almost made them extinct. Well, we were the baddies. Do this, and I can't believe the amount of wars they had. Oh my god, we're going to show you in a minute on another channel who's telling you about the wars. They were eco-friendly. They didn't waste. They didn't leave. It's us who are the rubbish makers. It's us who have to pile in like a bunch of terror what's-her-names. Well, it is us, isn't it? Even the dung they used for fire. It's the next bit of the video that's just, well, I've it to you, but it's on this video. 60 million bison roamed North America at the turn of the 19th century. Americans had hunted them for millennia. The Europeans in the West, by 1910, only 5,000 bison survived. Because it was extreme. They just knew how to do it all. You know, we've treated them, especially in the films, we have treated them really badly. But just because they didn't speak the same language, and you can see why they were fighting to keep their land. Seriously, you can. Maybe that's it. They just go through country upon country, kill all the Indians off, and then go to the next country, kill all the, or round them up, or make them prisoners. I hadn't realised that maybe they looked after the land as well as that. And then this one's about fires in general, because this fire happened in America in 1871. It's going to talk about, I mean, this one obviously did a lot of damage, but we're going to listen to the little video in a moment, which is going to explain how good fires are. So let's get on to the next. A little bit more writing, and then yes, let's get on to the next bit.
The greatest gift that Mother Nature gave to mankind is rapid oxidation or fire.
Fire is a crucial human advantage.
Any kind of society began with the cooking of meat over flame.
Our ancestors from hundreds of thousands of years ago would regularly encounter natural sources of fire, and they probably experimented with them. We're a restless, curious, adventurous species, and there were probably several tens of thousands of years worth of burnt fingertips before humans figured out how to make fire do something useful. But when they did, it extended the daytime so they could see each other at night. It kept away predators.
Fire does the following. It destroys harmful bacteria. It neutralizes toxins. It makes food taste better. And more importantly, it breaks down carbohydrates. So it increases the amount of carbohydrates that are going into the body. Have a major effect on the brain. It is the brain size that begins to increase from 1 million years ago, when we have the first evidence of fire in humans, to 100,000 years ago when modern humans came on the scene.
When we started to cook around fires, that meant groups had to gather together. They would pool their resources. And having to work together to gather that food and cook it was really the beginning of human society.
Home and hearth are places of comfort, where we can seek food, mutual support from other people like ourselves.
You know, the heat, the flame, the beginning of all conversation. Still, you know, flame attracts people to talk.
If we're looking at revolutions in human origins, the control of fire must rank among the most important of them.
Maybe the Indians did. Maybe, and for other reasons, but who knows, because we don't even know how much of this history is correct, except I feel now that the Indians ran everything. So they said that's the most aggressive Americans, but I'm not surprised they were aggressive. It was their country, they'd been looking after it for thousands of years probably, and then we come along and destroyed buffalo, the whole thing. No wonder they don't have any real respect, because they were in tune with nature and we're not. We do everything against nature. I mean, I come from the plastic 80s. How natural is that? And then I started looking, and then we came across this other web page. There you go, the Indian Wars. I realised that there had been so many wars. You might be quite shocked. Maybe you know how many wars there were. So it starts here in the 1540s. But that's Mexico, because Mexico used to run America. Probably with Portugal and Spain. So that's why the first one's happening. They don't want the Mexicans there. And then it just goes through all the wars, and there's just loads of them. I had not realised. You know, they go on about the First and Second World War, but it's terrible. And some of the wars were happening, like lots of wars at the same time were happening in the same sort of years. Maybe a few years apart, but in those few years there's loads of wars. We're going through it, so we'll see. The noise, it's the dog snoring under the table. She won't shut up. It's quite annoying, really. Obviously you can see the different states it's happening in. It's obviously going across America. Got rid of the Mexicans as well. I mean, that one says French and Indian War, so they had to go as well. Obviously stop the pages at any time if you want to look at it, because obviously it takes rather a long time to go through, but I wanted to just show you the wars. There's loads of them. And look at him. Why has he got those on his shoulders? Roman thing. Why is them on his shoulders? Was that because I did read that some of things so they could play two parts. They could play in the American life and in the Indian life. That's a bit strange seeing him with those admiral, you know, those things on his shoulders, the tassels. And look, we just go on and on and on. So there's a lot round here in the 1860s. But of course that would then fit into cowboy and westerns, and we don't even know if that existed. So maybe all this happened, but not in these years. It happened a couple hundred years before. Who knows? But definitely a lot of wars. 1853, 1853, 1854, 1854. 1854, 54, 55, 55. 55 to 58. 55 to 56, 55 to 58. 1955. That one says California. Maybe that was it. It was that one there. See, 1856, 56, 58, 58, 58, 59, 60. So there's a lot going on there. Them slaughtering them all. Oh, we're just an evil bunch of selfish people. We should have learnt from the Indians. Far more in touch with nature than we have ever been. We're just consumers. There's just so many. I had not realised that there had been so many. I wish they'd won, the Indians. You think everything would be different. These people wouldn't build their wigwams, you know, tornado land, but of course we do. Rips the houses up. What do they care? They've sold it, made money. Money to them. They must have been horrified, the Indians. You can see why they were so nasty. I mean, with this happening, it's a real war, isn't it? Not like the fake ones that we had. And they don't want to really talk that much about these wars, do they? Only that they happened. And that the Americans won, or we won, or whatever it is. Indians had won. I bet you millions of people wish the Indians had won. And I don't think they're treated very nicely anyway. What, just because they want to live off the land? They're in touch with nature and everything. They've got the lives we want. There's just so many wars. I had not realised that there was this many. Oh, I'm really sorry. The dog just won't stop barking. It's a bit annoying at times, but never mind. Sorry about that. She carried on, even though I've poked her a few times. Stop it, Floss! She's still going. Anyway, so we're going through the wars. Let's stick with the wars. Battle of the Little Brighton. 1876, 1876. Here's another lot. 1877, 1878, 78 to 79. And quite a lot of 1870s wars there. 1878, 1878, 79, 79, 79, 79, 79, 80s. A lot going on there. '81, '82, '86, '91. It's starting to come up. I think the last one, so they said, was 1911. We're getting there in a moment. Oh, there it is. 1890 up to. That's as far as this goes. I thought I saw 1911 somewhere, but that's the channel, Legends of Earth. So thanks very much for watching. What's your thoughts? So many wars, and they knew how to look after everything. They could keep billions of bison on the go, whereas we slaughtered them down to 5,000. We just are destroyers.